Hey, hi, hello. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse. I talk about books and book-related things. And today, I'm giving you my goals for 2022. This is not nearly as many goals as I had last year. And last year I did have this format where I was just chilling on my bed and we were talking like we were buds. My format now works well for me in that I don't have to set anything up. I just turn my tripod, set up my tripod, and I call it a day. So still chill, trust me. I am going to go ahead and give the disclaimer that if you hear animals, anything like that, so on and so forth, in the background, I live in a zoo. I have no control over the things and sounds that they make. It is what it is. Okay, let's talk about some goals. For my reading specific goals, in 2021, I've read over 600 books, and the criticism that I receive for reading as much as I do sucks. I've talked about it a million times. I've made jokes about it a million times, but it hurts my feelings. So I'm actively going to be trying in 2022 to read fewer books, which sounds crazy. It sounds like that shouldn't be a goal, but it is a goal. I want to take more time to do more hobbies like ballet and piano. I don't want to spend all of my time hyper-focusing on reading and binge reading, and all I do is read. I want to do other things. And so in order to do that, I have to focus on reading a little bit less. So I'm going to be limiting myself to reading 2 books a day. And by that I mean reading and finishing 2 books a day. It's still a lot, but it's less. That's my current plan. I don't know if I can stick to it, but that's what I would like to do. I also would like to read more adult books than young adult books. I like young adult books a lot, but I think that I am starting to age into sort of an age where I would like to read about characters closer to my age. However, it feels like a lot of the books that are available for that are fantasy in which the main character is a man, contemporary or romance, or thrillers. And I want to read fantasy in which our main character is an AFAB of some kind. I want more of that, or more sci-fi, but a lot of it is just male focused, and that is why I have a hard time reading adult fiction. I'm gonna work on it next year. I'm gonna be looking for more things next year. If you guys have seen the books that I read and enjoy and have recommendations for adult books, let me know. I, in general, want to branch out in genres. I want to try and read a few more things that I don't really like or think that I don't really like. I know that my book taste is changing as I'm changing, as time continues. In the last 2 months, in November, December of this year, I have definitely branched out already, especially after I did that romance reads week situation. That really made me realize okay, I don't hate romance, there's just really specific things about romance that I don't like. And in the last couple of months I've read way more contemporary and way more historical, and I know that there are things that I do heavily dislike and things that I actually do like in those genres. So I want to work on finding a little bit more of that, and even spending a little bit more time shopping for my TBR. I want to really decide what I'm going to read and not just be all of the books, I'll just read them all. I want it to be more specific so that I can give more specific conversation when filming these videos. I also want to finish all of my ongoing series before continuing a new series or starting a new series. This doesn't include series in which the next book hasn't come out yet, obviously, but that is my current goal. I want to finish all the series I'm currently reading. I'm getting there. I'm almost done with a lot of them, but you know. For social media specifically, I just want to get monetized on YouTube, that's it. And by that I mean I would really love if I hit 1K on YouTube. If I don't, that's okay. I think though, based on the data from this past year, it is definitely something that's doable as long as I continue to make the content that I've been making. But that's just something I would really like to do just because I put in all of this hard work, and you guys know I'm very transparent about the fact that I would love to get paid for doing the hard work that I've been doing, and I understand why it takes some time to get there. And I am not grateful for the people that I already have subscribed to me. I'm grateful for everybody. I just think that it would be cool. That's it. I don't have any other goals for social media. Last year I had goals for Twitter and for Instagram. I've given up on Instagram and I don't care about it. TikTok, I am of a mind that I just post things and hope for the best. Actually, I hope for nothing. I don't care what happens on TikTok. And then I blow up and it's a very strange experience. Twitter has also kind of become a place where I just yell. I'm not that worried about followers with Twitter either. I enjoy the audience that I currently have, and so having it get any bigger and me not really know how to interact with that Like when I blow up on TikTok, it's really overwhelming and I don't feel like I can create the interpersonal relationships that I would like to. And so on Twitter and on Instagram, I really like to be as kind of vulnerable and open and candid as possible, or that I'm comfortable with. And I think if that got too big, I would feel less comfortable with that. I don't know, but that's kind of my goals with that. For spending, for money specifically, I want to limit purchasing of books to 2 books a month, unless it comes in like a box set or something. This is not including book subscription services or anything like that. This is just like, I thought I wanted this book and I want to buy it. That does also include pre-orders. I really want to limit it to 2 books a month. Limiting it to a monetary amount didn't really work well for me because my brain doesn't process that number or retain that number in a way that makes sense. So if it's just 2 books a month, I will know, okay, I physically got 2 books this month. Okay, I can't buy any more books. That's something that makes more sense to my brain. I also want to make an effort to go to local bookstores before going to Amazon, even if it means waiting a little bit longer for the book. That's just something that I personally really want to do. I want to support my local bookstores more. I haven't really been able to do that with the last 2 years of me on YouTube because we were in a pandemic. So that really limited me on going to bookstores. But, you know, even if it's just going to Barnes & Noble, and I know that it's a big company and not just a small local bookstore, but even if it is Barnes & Noble over, you know, Amazon, I think that that's what I'm going to try and do. With reviewing of books specifically, I want to get better about emailing publishers, but I get really, really nervous about it, or even messaging publishers, and it's really hard for me because I just get really nervous, and the worst they can say is no, but I have ADHD, which means I have rejection sensitivity, and so that's really hard for me. I think that emailing publishers will get me more used to emailing employers and harassing them about hiring me though, so that's kind of what my plan is to get better about contacting them about books and going from there. Then I also want to do a better job of talking about those books that I've received in more than just like the one blog tweet and my like wrap up and TBR. I want to post more about the arcs and talk more about things from authors. And admittedly, when I'm really hyped about a book, I think everybody knows I'm really hyped about a book, but I want that to continue for books that I even like just liked but wasn't like insanely hyped about. I still want to talk about them and give them the light that they deserve, because especially if it's just something like, oh, I just don't particularly like this style of writing, someone else might. So for content I want to make, I want to make more recommendation-based videos. I think you guys like those a lot, and I think that I'm okay at recommending books to people. Maybe like a, if you liked this, maybe you'll like this kind of situation, or if you want this specific genre, here's some recommendations. I think I want to do a little bit more of that content. I also think I'm going to quit doing my childhood rereads after. I have 3 more series that I really, really want to reread, and I think after that I'm probably going to stop making them. The videos don't do really well, which is okay, but also I have a hard time filming the sit-down conversation about them because it's hard to validate something that I liked as a child that sucked as an adult. It hurts my feelings a little bit, but also I'm out of series that I want to read outside of those 3 that I have coming up. I really want to focus on other content and giving myself room to make other content, like to schedule it out, because if I'm doing a monthly childhood reread, my wrap-ups and my TBRs, I only usually have about 1 more week of whatever video I want, and then how am I supposed to time things well, like hauls or unhauls or recommendation videos, so on and so forth. I can't schedule them well if I'm trying to do these childhood rereads. I also want to complete my book tracking spreadsheet for 2022 and then make a video talking about it and explaining how to do it. However, I want to make sure that it is completely separate from anybody else's book tracking spreadsheet. I want to make sure that it's very clearly mine, that I made it from raw and so on, and because some of my ideas are because I've used several other people's book trackers and gone from there, I want to make sure that I'm not accidentally doing something that would be considered taking it from somebody else. I feel like that's rude, and I'm really not trying to do that. I'm not trying to have that drama in my life. Which, speaking of drama, I at one point, and still kind of, wanted to make a is booktube problematic, or is it just or are you just being misogynistic or internalizing sexism video. I have that video filmed. I have it put together. I will not ever be posting that video. Here's why. I don't think I can, from an anxiety standpoint, handle that. And then 2, I think I need to script it a little bit better, and then I might post a different one where I talk about that concept. I just think that we as a community really do seem to talk in circles sometimes, and we also just we miss the bigger picture because we have such a hard time with understanding nuance and actually comprehending things that we're reading, and we also don't do well with criticism at all. And I want to make sure that when I'm talking about the community being problematic and some of those criticisms, that I'm able to separate myself from it and not take the criticisms personally while I'm talking about them and explaining why they might be right or wrong. So that's something that I want to make, but it's going to require a lot of thought and research and that kind of thing. I don't want to offend anybody, but I also want people to think about things a little bit more thoroughly and outside of their own personal scope. For Clear Your Shit, there's not a whole lot more I want to improve upon with this. I'm really proud of the way that things have come together. I think mostly I might bring on a third person to help me with Discord, just because I don't have the time to monitor it and make sure people aren't doing something that they aren't supposed to. And yeah, Art and I are both in there, but we're both very busy because we both also help moderate Art owns it, I help moderate the Queer Book Crew, and I know that I drop the ball on that all the time, because Discord is something my brain just doesn't think front of mind about, and so I really want somebody to help with that, and somebody to help with just like retweeting the tweets that I just haven't gotten to, and I'll do all of the interacting later. That's something I'm thinking about. I want to do better about posting cross-platform. Like we had stuff come out today and I still haven't even posted it on Instagram. I'm gonna do it when I get done filming, but yeah, I need to do better. I know I need to do better. It's just hard for me to remember to do it, and it's a struggle. I also want to stop doing things last minute. Art and I literally had the readathon almost completely hammered out, 100% almost completely hammered out, and then didn't look at it again for like 3 months. I want to not do that this year and have it completely hammered out, tweets scheduled like 2 months before the whole thing happens, because I think that will make my life a lot easier and I won't be scrambling to do things while the readathon is currently ongoing. For my health, which is completely not book related, I need to go get a tilt table test done, and it is one of the big tests that I need to have done to determine what is wrong with me and why I pass out all the time, but it freaks me out a lot, and so I've been putting it off and putting it off. I'm gonna try and get it done next year. I then will try and get an MRI done, but it's expensive, so we'll see. I also will be completing my dental care next year, which means I will be getting all my cavities filled and my wisdom teeth removed, and maybe Invisalign or braces if I can afford it. If I can't, I'll do that next year, but here we are. Those are the goals. So those are all of my goals for 2022. It's not a whole lot. It's very simple, short and sweet compared to last year, I feel like. I'm just really grateful that everybody's here. Everybody that is here is still here. That everybody still listens to me ramble and doesn't think that my opinions are the most absurd things they've ever heard. I guess. Maybe you think that. I don't know. I'm just really appreciative of all of the love and the support that everybody has given me, especially as my life continues to change. And, you know, this last year I got married unexpectedly. I literally was not supposed to be getting married until next December, and I got married this October. I got diagnosed with ADHD, and that changed a whole lot. I moved into a new house. I had many a breakdown because of my current job that I'm working on, and I've made friends with authors, and I've read a lot of books, and I've talked to a lot of y'all, and the readathon has grown to this crazy number. Sorry, I try to use the term crazy less, but my head kind of hurts. I've got a little bit of a migraine coming on. I am just so appreciative of everybody for sticking around and supporting me. It means a whole lot to me. I don't think I talk about it enough, but it means a whole lot to me. Every time anyone leaves like a really sweet comment or something, I like show everybody in my life, because I'm like, look at what this person said. I'm emotional. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm gonna end the video here. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you didn't like this video, I only make them once a year, so sorry. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, do something today to take care of yourself. And thank you again for being here. Okay, thanks, bye.